Hi, everybody. Welcome to PEMA TV.
Welcome to May 23rd, 2014. And Friday, the start of Memorial Day weekend and the start of the unofficial summer in the Midwest.
It sure is. There'll be opening pools.
Yes, pools will be opening.
And
tomorrow.
I grew up in Texas. We never shut them down, so I had to get used to that when we moved to Missouri about actually opening and closing something like that.
But you saw the reason for it, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, the 9 months of below freezing temperatures, I don't blame you for closing.
Not 9 months below,
Yes.
but...
6.
No.
Good 6.
Back home, the pools do not open until Memorial Day weekend, and they close Labor Day weekend. There is no added extra days in there at any given time.
And like Kim said, as you can see in our background right here, pretty lotus flower. The lotus flower should remind you of Metaluna Boutique and Stones. Be sure and go to metalunaboutiqueandstones.com and check out everything we've got.
Especially the books.
Yep, because like you can see right now, that is our dear, dear friend, Mary Gasparo. That's her book, Animals Impacting the World.
And Dinah Roseberry.
And Dinah Roseberry.
But it's a lovely book, and we've got a lot of really good feedback from people who have purchased it and bought it. And the ones inside my shop are already autographed, so you don't have to go hunt down Mary to get them autographed.
Yep, that is very, very true. Well, folks, tonight, it looks like our guest, who's in California, must have either got our time wrong or something's happened. Can't seem to get a hold of her. So,
she's out enjoying the weather.
I'm guessing that we're going to talk, I guess, first of hand, like Kim mentioned. Let me get the right thing going on here. What have you got going on at the shop real quick? Is there anything new or special that the people might want to know about?
Well, we do have the Reiki sessions now. On walk-ins or appointments are available Thursday and Friday. By appointment only on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Yep. And that's what I was working on. I'm putting on a background.
And we still have a kitten left.
Yeah, one more kitten.
And he's absolutely precious, but he's our special needs baby, and he needs to be the only child.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just a little slow and he just doesn't care.
Well, it's not that he's slow, he's shy.
Yeah.
He's very cautious, and bless his little heart, he runs around chasing his shadow, but if his ear twitches and he doesn't realize it, it scares him.
Yeah.
But he is the sweetest little thing and has the cutest little face. He just needs someone who's willing to have the patience with his shyness right now.
Yeah. Kind of wanted to mention this too real quick. I know everybody's going to be doing a lot of, being at the lake, a lot of barbecuing, possibly a little bit of a few adult beverages being consumed this weekend. First of all, be very, very careful, especially if you're out near the water.
We got bacon hot dogs.
Yeah, yeah. Or if you're out paranormally investigating or researching this weekend, please protect yourself. Please be careful.
If you're traveling, just be careful, because on the way home, it's literally 18 minutes from front door to front door, I passed 4 cops, and they would wait patiently at stoplights behind somebody, and as soon as they went to pull off, that's when they'd hit their lights.
Yeah.
So they're really looking for seatbelts.
Yeah.
Big time.
Another reason I wanted to put up the American flag as a background is I think everybody needs to remember that this is not a weekend of party. I know a lot of people will this weekend, and I know everybody works very, very hard, and you do deserve the long weekend. But please remember the intent behind this weekend. It is to acknowledge those that gave all for us to be able to have the ability to do this. So please remember that, all of our active duty, and to our nephew John, Semper Fi. please remember what this weekend is truly all about, and at least for part of your weekend, take a moment of silence, show some respect for why we actually have Memorial Day weekend.
And, well, where I'm from, take some flowers to Grandma.
Yeah.
They go to the cemetery. A lot of people back home are having picnics in the cemetery this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Family reunions. Sound a little morbid, but hey, if you believe in the spirits, why not have the picnic where they are so they don't have to come to you for once?
That is true. Anything going on you want to talk about?
Gangster gophers and carnivorous horses.
Always the gangster gophers. That is something, everybody please go check out Uncle Sal up at the Shanley. They are doing a lot of benefit stuff up there. Have a lot of special things coming up. Please go check them out.
Aaron Houdini right now is auctioning off quite a few of his personal effects items, and half of every auction purchase will be going to the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
And for those of you that may or may not know, Aaron was diagnosed with Parkinson's just a month and a half or 2 months ago. So the Michael J. Fox Foundation takes on a whole new meaning for him. And for us too. He's a dear friend and has a little son, Amadeus, that I'm sure he wants to be able to spend time with. And
he's just too cute.
Yeah, he is.
Although he does wake up in the middle of the night now talking to the creepy skull head. But hey, that is his thing.
That's all okay. Also, please remember, coming up in August, which will be here before you know it, we have Little Green Men Days in Kelly, Kentucky.
And I've already been contacted saying, you guys are showing up, right? I got that message yesterday.
Okay. So, those of you that may have been part of the PEN Facebook page, if you got an invite to Little Green Men Days today, which all of you should have, please join it. Come check them out. Please contact them if you think you might, in the Kentucky area, and you think you might want a booth. Please be sure and contact them.
Or show up on that weekend and
it's a great time.
Hang
great
out
food.
with all of us. It is so much fun.
Great music, great food. It's a good time. In a little town that really cares. And Frank Brown and Joanne. I
don't know Joanne's last name.
I remember Smithy.
Yes.
They need, and their whole crew there. They're absolutely top notch.
And I would like to throw a little extra something in there right now. Sure. It's a surprise for a lot of people, but it was discussed this week at the Little Green Men Festival Committee. Instead of Geraldine just getting up on stage as she has over the past couple of years and talked about her family's encounter, this year she's using visual effects.
Nice. So like real laser guns and stuff.
I don't know exactly what she has planned, but I do know that she said she's using visual aids this year. Nice.
And they have like a 50-foot wide real live UFO that during the day looks one way, at night lit up with the fog machine going.
And the little alien men and the music.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool.
But, I mean, the food rocks.
Yeah, the company rocks.
It's just fun. I mean, we've been out there in the middle of a rain, and we're still having a good time. It doesn't matter.
What else do we want to talk about?
Let's see. We also have HHL coming up in November, which was uber fun in April.
Other than the tasers. And if you want to know, hit us up on Facebook and we'll tell you what we mean by that.
But the teachers with tasers did add to the experience.
Yeah, that's true.
And gave us a better story, or at least a different story, when it was over.
You just so you guys know, let me throw this update in here for the network real quick. You will be seeing a change in the lineup. We've had several hosts in the last week or so that have had to go on to do other things. So there will be many more open slots over here. If you know anybody that wants to do a show over here or wants to upgrade from radio to video, come let us know.
Let's see. Let's make this the gossip hour, shall we?
Oh, Lord.
First of all...
So this may or may not end up on YouTube.
Oh no, it'll wind up on YouTube. First of all, our friend Stephen Lichians just got into his house in St. Louis. They're officially moved in.
Congrats to him.
And very happy about the whole thing. And last week, Stephen and I got to discuss hometown food and all that craziness.
Local
haunts and that kind of stuff.
He also has a book coming out in August, and
he does.
Keep your eye out if you're in the St. Louis or in the Midwest region there, around St. Louis. Steve's probably going to stop doing a lot of conferences, but you will be able to find him at certain investigations and certain events that are close to him personally in St. Louis. So keep your eye out.
A lot of book signings.
And book signings, that's true.
So, yay for Steve. Me and him got a date for lunch. And maybe a late night breakfast, because there is Uncle Bill's.
Uncle Bill's pancake.
And then, let's see, there's Dakota Lawrence, who is selling some baby chinchillas right now, if you were interested in possibly having a baby chinchilla. He's been breeding them over the last few years, and Joe has apparently contracted some kind of allergy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, to where he's having to finally get rid of the chinchillas. So, but they're so sweet, and he's got different colors. And no, I'm not asking for one. I know they do their thing. I'm not asking. And let's see, what else do we know?
Well,
Tim Yancey is crazy, but we still love him.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like a given. And Trisha's still the most tolerant woman we know, so that's a given.
Right?
We also, Arwen Lynch, who's a host on Monday night, who unfortunately Monday will be her last show with us, she did have a book that came out on Wednesday under Mary Lou Mann. Her and her writing partner that write their books, they had a book come out. Our very good friend Martha
Hazard Decker
also had a book come out.
It's called Paranormal Profiling, and it actually, the first book came off of print a week after HHL, and I think it's still on pre-order on Amazon, but it should be showing up like any moment now.
Yeah, to go full-on order, so go ahead and put your orders in. Paranormal Profiling, and Martha's background is in investigation, law enforcement investigation. So her interviewing techniques and things that she talks about in there are invaluable. If you have a team and you do any kind of client-based research, they are invaluable in helping you do your investigations and do your pre-investigations.
Well, and I also have to give her a big shout-out because when I had an investigation and you were unavailable, I posted on Facebook, willing to travel a few hours to do an investigation, and Martha stepped up and brought Wendy in with her, and there was never, okay, how long is it going to be, where is it going to be, da-da-da-da-da. She's like, let's go.
Real quick too, because I know Bryce Ponders and his wife Lynn came from Louisiana to help you too, and Bryce, we hope you're feeling better. Trust me, that blood pressure stuff, don't mess with it. Go get it checked out.
And Terry Jones, T.L. Jones, I think she has a new book out.
Well, she's been hanging around with that Martha Decker person, and I don't know what they're doing.
All I know is they were all on the beach last weekend teasing me because I wasn't.
Yeah.
If I'd have had the gas 5 hours down, I'd have been harassing them big time.
What else?
I had it and I was... if you're in the Tyler area, there is a writers convention going on. And Mitchell Whittington, Martha Hazard Decker, Jason McLeod, T.L. Jones, and a bunch I haven't met are going to be there, and it's going to, from what I understand, you go in, book signings, lectures, the whole shebang, much like a paranormal conference, but it's based on the authors.
Cool. Is it free to get in, or do you know any details?
It is, I want to say $20 for one day, $30 for both days. If you go to Martha's page, she does have the banner, the links and all that kind of stuff with all the information.
Awesome.
And
and don't forget, go to meetup.com, type in Metaluna Half Mooners, and join us on Meetup. Our meetup is going strong. We actually had our first little barbecue gathering cookout last weekend.
Which was a blast.
Absolute blast. Best banana pudding I've ever had in my life, and trust me, that's saying something.
And as weird as it sounds, at least to me, hominy casserole.
Awesome. That was good.
But just to clear up a few things, it's a meet and greet, not a holistic healing class, not Reiki class. There are people from all those areas.
Right.
But it is a meet and greet. It's to get to know people in the area with similar interests to yours.
Network, socialize. It's not a business event.
And right now we've decided there's 2 a month, every other weekend, but the latter one each month right now is going to be our barbecue.
Cool.
Have fun, just hang out and have a good night. But we had so much food. We all hurt coming home.
What else?
There's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm just trying to think of where it's all at. I didn't know. I know that there are a lot of pets up for adoption through the rescues. And the last couple days, one of my friends has been posting texts that they're getting. A place called Texas Cat Rescue has been getting. And people, let's not get ridiculous. One was, I found out about your rescue and I want a Siamese cat. Well, we don't have any Siamese cats available right now. Well, that's ridiculous. That's what I wanted. Get me a Siamese cat. We don't have... Well, why would you take something nobody wants, like a black cat, but not a Siamese? What's wrong with you?
People are just stupid. People in general are just stupid.
And then there was the one this morning that I laughed about. This lady had sent a text saying that she wanted a kitten for her daughter's 3rd birthday. And the lady at the cat rescue was trying to explain it's a lifetime commitment. It's not just a present or, some little party favor. And the lady said, well, thank you for your lecture, but can you deliver the kitten to my daughter's birthday party and put a bow or something around its neck? And what I was actually giggling about was the rescuer's final comment was, obviously you've contacted the wrong place. You were looking for Party City, not a cat rescue.
Yeah, and remember, folks, I don't want to sound like Bob Barker, but spay and neuter your pets.
Yes, but don't yell at people when they take in a feral that's already pregnant.
Right.
Because I got the lecture on you should have spayed and neutered her. What spayed her? Well, she wasn't mine.
And she was already pregnant.
And she was already pregnant when she came into the shop.
Right.
So there wasn't much I could do, and I wasn't going to throw her out pregnant or in labor. I did what
you should have done.
I should have done. Well, now I'm kind of trapped because I love all their little faces, but I still need a home for one. Yeah. I'm keeping one. I've already gotten rid of 2. Not gotten rid of. They both went together to a good home.
Yeah, to a forever home.
Yes, they found their forever home. Now I just have to find one for little Mr. Jellybean, a.k.a. Vinny G.
Yep.
Oh, and on Facebook. Thank you. There is a page for anybody interested in animals, just in keeping up with stuff. There's a place called Senior Dog Sanctuary. This couple has opened their house to all senior dogs that have been abandoned, either in shelters or pounds or just strays, but they're all senior dogs. It's so great to watch how many they have and how well they're all taken care of, and they have little memorials for each of them, and they try to find homes for the ones they can. But this couple is doing amazing stuff with these senior animals, and I don't think they have anyone quite as old as him. They did have 2 poodles come in, and they had them for a couple months, and it was a male and female, and the female just passed away from kidney failure. But I think it's so sweet, because most people are looking for puppies or younger dogs or, fighting dogs or, guard dogs or blah, 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 blah. They just want the old ones, and that's where their heart lies.
And it's great that somebody's out there doing that kind of thing instead of, unfortunately, having to euthanize all those animals.
And they're
so please, folks, don't ever go to a pet store and buy anything. Go to your local pound or shelter, adopt from there.
Look on Facebook. There are some amazing rescues. We know personally Helpers for Shelter up in New York, Pennsylvania area. They are great, and not only do they work with the animals, but they also work with homeless shelters and women and children's centers.
Crisis centers, yeah.
And then there's Texas Star Rescue down here in East Texas. And then there is a woman, Emily Coker, who kind of posts for the rescues. Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona, this whole big circle. There's some amazing rescues out there. They're not used pets. They just want a new home. And they're out there for a reason.
Right.
But, I mean, if you want a specific breed, there are rescues that focus mainly on that particular breed. They will take in others when needed. Sort of like Villalobos is pit bulls, but every once in a while they get a stray poodle or something that they find or they come across. So there are breed rescues too.
And I know we had a good friend, Mel, and his wife that used to be part of the huge bird rescue out there in Georgia.
Forever Friends. Our feathered friends forever.
So whatever type of animal you have or whatever type of animal spurs your interest, I'm sure there's an organization out there that, if you can't donate any money, I'm sure would love to have some of your time.
Well, and even old towels, old blankets, old sheets. If you can buy a bag of dog food. A lot of them have either auctions or raffles a lot of the times to help raise money for supplies they need or for a specific pet's injuries and surgeries and medications and that kind of stuff. There's always ways. Always.
Yep.
I know Helpers for Shelters has had 2 auctions so far, and they've had some crazy stuff. But let me warn you, if you want something, wait till it gets close to the end and then nail it. Because if you start out early, you're never going to get near it.
It is convention season, so be sure and keep an eye on Facebook and keep an eye. I'm sure if you have any kind of want or need to meet any of the celebrities or whatever that's out there, I'm sure, I think this weekend Bishop Long is having their spiritual expo in Kentucky. I know that's happening this weekend.
Yeah. Granbury was last weekend.
Granbury was last weekend.
There's one or two more, and Robin Marie is almost busy every weekend. Check her Facebook for flyers if you want a psychic reading or scrying or any of that kind of stuff.
What else is going on? Congratulations to Mary Gasparo, too. She is now officially a grandma.
Yes, and he's adorable.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he will not be spoiled. I'm sure that won't happen. And no, I can't say that with a straight face.
Yes. But yes, Gabriel is adorable, and he's a healthy little boy, and Mom seems to be back up on her feet and doing well after a slight hink in her medical procedure. But yes, the proud grandparents. And speaking of proud grandparents, our little one,
yes,
little Miss Chloe, graduated pre-K yesterday. Yep. And today she was at an animal park.
Grows up so quick.
Oh, yeah, she starts kindergarten in August. Not ready for that.
Hope the public school system is ready for her.
Right. But Katie, who just had surgery, her son also graduated pre-K yesterday. And I think there's like 4 or 5 of them that all graduated yesterday.
That's their job, is to grow up and get older.
It's just weird that all the pre-K graduations landed on the same day as opposed to...
spread out.
Yeah, like other schools.
That's true.
Katie, by the way...
Get better. Get better, baseball buddy.
She had disc surgery, and yeah.
She's a tough one, though.
Yes, she is. Just like her mama.
Yeah.
And her little one just turned 2 yesterday.
Sure did.
So yeah, there's a lot going on and a lot of babies of all species.
I can't really think of nothing else going on.
We tried. Sorry.
Don't provoke. Let's just get on a soapbox real quick. Don't provoke. Get permission before you go in.
Do not look at someone's picture on Facebook and call them names.
That's right. Don't be a troll.
If you can debunk it or see a logical reason for whatever they think might be there, there are nice ways to say it. There's nice ways to explain it. There's no need for name calling.
Don't be a tool.
Don't be a tool. Don't be a douchebag.
Yeah. That's also the difference between a skeptic and a cynic. A skeptic will tell you and or constructively give you ways to fix it. A cynic is the one that doesn't like your mother.
In public, anyway.
In public, yeah. She can be a very nice lady. I don't.
And Kid Rock is up near Syracuse at a park this weekend doing a concert. Yeah. If anybody's up there, and I only know this because my friend Debbie Gooch was like all kinds of tickled. Yeah, she was going to go see Kid Rock this weekend, and she lives up in Syracuse. And no, this wasn't one of my imaginary internet friends. We actually went through grade school and most of high school together.
Yeah, you've been talking to a lot to your old
Actually, what we decided was one of the guys in our neighborhood who lived between us and the Alexanders passed away a couple weeks ago. So we kind of made it a point to go out hunting for, searching, and contacting as many of our grade school friends as we can possibly find that were in our classes.
Right.
So that we can keep in touch, because Paul, unfortunately, bless his heart, and not in a southern way, this was one of his best friends when we were growing up. Yeah. And they lost contact to find out 2 weeks after he passed away that he was gone. We're getting at that age to where just because we haven't seen you in 30 years doesn't mean we still don't love you. Our grade school was not a large grade school. We had 2 classes per grade. We all hung out. There was like 16, 18 of us riding bikes every night in a group. It was our biker gang without the motorcycles.
Right.
But he's met some of my friends, and we've been friends forever. Some of us since first grade. So that's been our big thing, is just to find everybody. And they have, not really reunions, they have get-togethers, like once a month back home. So everybody can catch up and what have you. But yeah, it's kind of cool.
And maybe that's something we should suggest that our viewers do in the spirit of this weekend, is if you haven't talked to somebody in a long time, reach out to them. Make a phone call, send an email. I'd say send a text, but that's so impersonal.
Get a hold of a few and say, hey, Monday, why don't we go to this park or whatever and, hang out for the day.
Have a cup of coffee.
Have a barbecue, whatever. I mean, it's just... I think there was a grand total of 40 of us in the same class, in the same grade, all the way through school. There's 30 now. We've lost 10. So, yeah. For one reason or another, and then there's another 5 in prison that we know where they're at. We just can't Facebook them. That leaves 25 of us. Mm-hmm. So, we meant a lot to each other in school. We helped each other survive certain things in life during those years. It's time to bring them back into your life.
Yep. And like we said earlier, in the spirit of this weekend, please remember that this weekend is not about the parties or the barbecues.
And yes, you will have your barbecues, you will have your parties, you will be opening the pools or whatever.
But please, please remember what this weekend is really, really all about.
And even if it's old friends, it's still memories.
That's right.
And that's the best thing.
Yep. We're doing pretty good for a Seinfeld episode.
We are. Except for your ring keeps staring at me, and that's kind of creepy. But other than that...
It's supposed to stare at you.
No, it's not. Thank you. Metalina Boutique and Sounds will be open this weekend?
All weekend?
All weekend? I may or may not take a day off, but if I do, I've had an offer from someone else to run the shop for me, who I would trust to run the shop for me. But it depends on whether or not I get my dream cruise this weekend.
Okay.
Okay, what have I said since the first time I moved here?
You want to go on a cruise?
No. I've never been on a lake in Texas.
You've been in one, sort of.
No. We camped at one.
You put your feet in it.
No, I didn't.
This morning you did.
No, because when we got there the first night, it was like the creepy neuter thing. Yeah.
Beaver?
No, this had no tail, and it had a head like this. That was a neuter.
Probably a Wolverine.
Something. But no, I never got... My experience with the water that particular weekend was the fact that Mother Nature tried to wash one of the guys out of his tent. His air mattress was floating inside his tent. That's as far as the water that I've gotten here. But we have a possible offer to go out boating this weekend. So if it comes to fruition,
cool.
If not, you will find me at Metalina Boutique and Stone.
What else?
I don't know.
Got any new products at the store you want to talk about? Have you restocked your herbs? So if you've been checking for herbs, maybe you come back in?
Not so much herbs. I'm still looking for herbs because the site I usually go to went ridiculous stupid. But we do have a lot more of the herbal remedies and the herbal teas. And we're bringing in new stuff there and little crazy stuff. Ruth has brought in dog and cat shampoos and dog and cat flea oil repellent stuff, which does seem to be working. We had to, and it's not only the cats, we can put it on the kittens too because it is all natural. And the only thing goofy about the kittens when you put this on is they make this weird face because it has a smell to it and they're not used to having a smell.
And Luna does make a weird face when she tries to lick it too.
Yeah.
And then she looks around it.
Yeah. And let's see, we've created an after sun lotion.
After sun lotion?
You get sunburnt. We have an after sun lotion, but the healing stuff is also really good for sunburns, insect bites, poison ivy, all the outdoor activities you might do this weekend.
That's right.
I've just ordered new Reiki candles, new incense, and a couple new stones.
So be sure to come by the store and check it out.
We've always got something crazy going on. We'll just have to wait and see. Oh, and Luann is now bringing in. Right now, she has little birdhouses that sit in your potted plants on a stick, so they stick up higher, so the little birds can have their little parties in their party houses. But she's also getting ready to bring in a lot of stained glass items, like stained glass lighthouses and stuff like that. So that will all be available very shortly because she was cussing yesterday that she was going home to go get it all out and fix it.
Bringing that up real quick, unless you're just absolutely deathly allergic to bees, please plant some flowers. Please. We are in major trouble if we lose the bees, trust me.
I had my dirt therapy yesterday.
Did you not?
Yes, I did. With my bright orange and my fuchsia colored impatiens.
They are quite
that are
quite
now
gorgeous.
in my hanging pots.
And you can always come to Metaluna Boutique and Stones and say hello to Steve.
Yes. And Steve is doing really lovely.
Steve is kicking ass.
Did you notice his leaves? The new green ones are like this tall.
They're huge. Steve is doing quite well. And his name is actually Frank, but we already had a plant named Frank, so we had to name him Steve.
But people do talk to Steve.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because one guy got out of the car and made his friend get out just to say hi to Steve. And then he came in and complained that his friend made him get out of the car to come say hi to his plant. Yeah.
Steve's a nice guy, though.
Hey. Plants like to be talked to. Just like the kittens. Who have lost their minds, by the way.
Oh, well, that's their job.
Apparently, one-up Jelly Bean, a.k.a. Vinny G, should now be named Pop-Tart. Guess where he's starting to sleep?
Behind the toilet? Hey.
That's
It's an inside family joke. You don't want to know, trust me.
Oh. But yeah, I couldn't find him today, and when I went into the bathroom to rinse off some stuff, I happened to look down, and he was behind the toilet sleeping.
Wow. I guess real quick, the only thing I've got to say is if you're going to post pictures on the internet, be thick-skinned about it. And if you're going to post pictures on the internet, make them of something. Don't post 8 pictures and say, guess which one has paranormal in it. That's almost as douchey as the answers you're going to get to your 8 pictures.
Well, and quite frankly, if you're going to post something like that, like, who was it? Someone the other day posted a picture. I know what I see, what do you see? And I did see in the same general area something, but it was completely different from what she was saying, which is neither here nor there. That's every team, and she's not on my team. She's just someone we had met at OSPH a few years ago. But don't put the orange circle around.
Yes. If you kind of circle it so people know what you're talking about, then guess what? It's probably not there, and that's not a bad thing. That's what people don't understand is.
Or the arrows.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But don't be surprised if you're going to put your stuff out on the internet. Be surprised you're going to get trolled. It's just going to happen.
Well, it doesn't matter. You could have the Holy Grail. You could have a full body apparition.
That's right.
Almost completely solid to where it's just slightly transparent. You could have it coming up out of the floor or halfway through a wall or something, and someone is going to trash it. It doesn't matter. It's
right.
The nature of the beast, I guess.
Yeah, actually it is.
But if you want people's opinions, you get everybody's opinions.
Yeah. And I guess since people, and not to go off on a totally another tangent,
which we have plenty of.
Yeah. This is welcome to our Seinfeld episode.
Doo, doo, doo.
And if you don't get that reference, I can't really help you. But anyway, it's because we're talking about absolutely nothing, just like they did on Seinfeld.
You're too young to be watching this.
Another like off the wall kind of topic. If you're barbecuing this weekend, please don't get anybody sick. Don't serve undercooked chicken. Don't serve raw hamburger.
Do not put the potato salad out at 10 a.m. to serve at 4 p.m.
Come on, folks. Just a little thought. Please put a little thought into what you're doing, or you will get people sick.
Now, you want a quick, easy way to cool everything down and keep it that way, and kind of cheap? Go to the dollar store, Family Dollar or Dollar General. They have $5 kiddie pools, the hard plastic kiddie pools. Use it as a cooler. Fill that puppy up with ice. Put everything in it. It's big.
If it melts, it won't go nowhere.
It holds a lot. It's not going to make a mess.
And then you'll have a pool afterwards.
And if you're on the river, stay floats. So if you're on a float trip, tie it to your raft. Keep on going. We used to do that all the time.
Yeah. What else? Don't drink and float. Well, that's like telling people not to breathe. But if you do, be careful.
Don't drink a whole lot unless you're especially if you're in the sun.
Hydrate.
At least a beer, a water, maybe throw in a Gatorade or something in there. But don't expect to drink a case of beer in the sun, in the heat.
Or you'll end up like I have more than once, and you'll look like Lobster Boy.
Yeah, or worse.
So just be careful this weekend, people. That's all. That's what we're really trying to say to you. Why? Because we're old parent types. So just be. I'm old parent type. She is young, hot, sexy parent type.
No, I'm just...
I cover my ass with that one.
He's trying to. I'm just highly opinionated.
Just be very, very careful when you're out there this weekend.
Yes. Especially in St. Louis, watch out for lightning, because regardless of the weatherman, you know it's going to rain. At least part of one day over this weekend, it will rain. Yeah. It's St. Louis. It happens every year. Don't be surprised.
Wow, we've almost made it 50 minutes.
Almost. And
pretty
that's
close.
Not bad for us,
That's
considering we started out with nothing because we had a guest MIA. I think we're getting a little repetitive, but that's okay. And don't sniff the markers.
Yeah, don't sniff the markers, even though that's the good markers.
I know, these are the really good ones.
Yeah.
But they don't let me play with those very much.
What else do we need to let the folks know?
Well, you could mention the other channels.
That's true. You can always tune into PEN2. There's something on over there every night. Tonight is actually Barefoot Paranormal, Spiritual Sex, which is exactly what it sounds like. And Biddy Tarot. You can tune those shows in. It's on a YouTube playlist. You can go backwards and forwards every night of the week. Tomorrow night you'll have Spirit Factivity, Zindama Paranormal, and our good friend Jim Mallard will be on there with the Mallard Report. And tune into our radio page. Our radio page, be sure and check our daily advertisements. We have almost 50 radio shows over there, folks, so I can't put everything, every guest bio on there every day. But be sure and tune in over there. You can scroll down to whatever station you're looking to choose from, load their player. If you're doing a radio show and you'd like to just simulcast with us, please send us a message at network@paraencountersnetwork.com.
Yeah, there is that. But there's always something going on, and we're talking to UK.
Yeah, we're very, very soon. We're working on that. It may take a little longer than we thought, but we are looking forward to having a PEN UK channel. That's something we are definitely working on quite hard. We're also helping out Matt Hall and his whole gang that is building and doing the first big paranormal conference over in the UK, Paracon UK. Just type that in on the Facebook page and go find them and join them. Some great stuff going on over there. It's really exciting to be part of something big like that.
And he doesn't have a British accent.
No. Matt and his whole group is actually they're United States military folk that are stationed in the UK.
Again, Memorial Day,
Once
military.
again.
It all ties in. And then next Friday, we have the lovely Ghost Chocolate Man.
Yes, next Friday we'll be talking with Lloyd Auerbach.
He makes ghost chocolate.
He makes ghost chocolate. He's also been in the paranormal for a long, long time. In the 80s and 90s, if you wanted to talk to somebody about the paranormal, you went and found Lloyd Auerbach.
And I wasn't kidding. You can Google ghost chocolate, and he is a
Haunted
chocolatier.
Haunted by Chocolate is actually hauntedbychocolate.com.
Yes, he is actually a chocolatier and does make his own chocolate.
Yes, he does.
And he makes little ghost chocolates.
And bring a notepad and a pen with you, because trust me, when you talk to Lloyd, you learn something.
And if you don't, you're not paying attention.
That's right.
Even I learned something, and I never pay attention. So that should tell you something. Plus, he has chocolate.
Yeah. Be sure and tune in Sunday night. We will have live shows. In fact, I think we're going to actually have live shows on Monday, too, so our schedule won't change. Be sure and join us every night of the week for something, even if it's on PEN 2 and PEN Radio. Trying to bring you the biggest gaggle and the most diverse programming that we can bring you.
And with that, I think we're going to skedaddle because we're just getting really
we're scraping. We're scraping.
Repetitive, and we're like even boring ourselves at this point.
Yeah. Be safe out there, folks, and have a great Memorial Day weekend. Once again, please don't lose sight of what this weekend is really all about.
And drive safe. The cops are out in full force.
Yep. So with that, we're going to get out of here. Be safe.
Night.
Also, please remember, coming up in August, which will be here before you know it, we have Little Green Men Days in Kelly, Kentucky.
And I've already been contacted saying, you guys are showing up, right? I got that message yesterday.
Okay. So those of you that may have been part of the PEN Facebook page, if you got an invite to Little Green Men Days today, which all of you should have, please join it. Come check them out. Please contact them if you think you might, in the Kentucky area, and you think you might want a booth. Please be sure and contact them.
Or show up on that weekend and
it's a great time.
Hang
great
out
food.
with all of us. It is so much fun.
Great music, great food. It's a good time. In a little town that really cares. And Frank Brown and Joanne.
I don't know Joanne's last name.
I remember Smithy.
Yes.
They need, and their whole crew there. They're absolutely top notch.
And I would like to throw a little extra something in there right now. Sure. It's a surprise for a lot of people, but it was discussed this week at the Little Green Men Festival Committee. instead of Geraldine just getting up on stage as she has over the past couple of years and talked about her family's encounter, this year she's using visual effects.
Nice. So like real laser guns and stuff.
I don't know exactly what she has planned, but I do know that she said she's using visual aids this year.
Nice. Nice. And they have like a 50-foot wide real live UFO that it...
But he is the sweetest little thing and has the cutest little face. He just needs someone who's willing to have the patience with his shyness right now.
Yeah. Kind of wanted to mention this too real quick. I know everybody's going to be doing a lot of, being at the lake, a lot of barbecuing, possibly a little bit of a few adult beverages being consumed this weekend. First of all, be very, very careful, especially if you're out near the water.
We got bacon hot dogs.
Yeah, yeah. Or if you're out paranormally investigating or researching this weekend, please protect yourself. Please be careful.
If you're traveling, just be careful because on the way home, it's literally 18 minutes from front door to front door, I passed 4 cops, and they would wait patiently at stoplights behind somebody, and as soon as they went to pull off, that's when they'd hit their lights. Yeah. So they're really looking for seatbelts.
Yeah. Big time. Another reason I wanted to put up the American flag as a background is I think everybody needs to remember that this is not a weekend of party. I know a lot of people will this weekend, and I know everybody works very, very hard, and you do deserve the long weekend. But please remember the intent behind this weekend. It is to acknowledge those that gave all for us to be able to have the ability to do this. So please remember that, all of our active duty, and to our nephew John, Semper Fi. Please remember what this weekend is truly, truly all about, and at least for part of your weekend, take a moment of silence, show some respect for...
Go hunt down Mary to get him autograph.
Yep, that is very, very true. Well, folks, tonight, it looks like our guest, who's in California, must have either got our time wrong or something's happened. Can't seem to get a hold of her. So... She's out enjoying the weather. I'm guessing that we're going to talk, I guess, first of hand, like Kim mentioned. Let me get the right thing going on here. What have you got going on at the shop real quick? Is there anything new or special that the people might want to know about?
Well, we do have the Reiki sessions now.
Mm-hmm.
On walk-ins or appointments are available Thursday and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
By appointment only on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Yep. And that's what I was working on. I'm putting on a background.
And we still have a kitten left.
Yeah, one more kitten.
And he's absolutely precious, but he's our special needs baby, and he needs to be the only child.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just a little slow, and he just doesn't care.
Well, it's not that he's slow. He's shy.
Yeah.
He's very cautious, and bless his little heart, he runs around chasing his shadow, but if his ear twitches and he doesn't realize it, it scares him.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to PEMA TV.
Welcome to May 23rd, 2014. And Friday, the start of Memorial Day weekend and the start of the unofficial summer in the Midwest.
It sure is. They'll be opening pools.
Yes, pools will be opening.
And
tomorrow.
I grew up in Texas. We never shut them down, so I had to get used to that when we moved to Missouri about actually opening and closing something like that.
But you saw the reason for it, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, the 9 months of below freezing temperatures, I don't blame you for closing.
Not 9 months below, but...
6.
No.
Good 6.
Back home, the pools do not open until Memorial Day weekend, and they close Labor Day weekend. There is no added extra days in there at any given time.
And like Kim said, as you can see in our background right here, pretty lotus flower. The lotus flower should remind you of Metaluna Boutique and Stones. Be sure and go to metalunaboutiqueandstones.com and check out everything we've got.
Especially the books.
Yep, because like you can see right now, that is our dear, dear friend, Mary Gasparo. That's her book, Animals Impacting the World.
And Dinah Roseberry.
And Dinah Roseberry.
But it's a lovely book, and we've got a lot of really good feedback from people who have purchased it and bought it. And the ones inside my shop are already autographed, so you don't have to...
For why we actually have Memorial Day weekend.
And, well, where I'm from, take some flowers to Grandma.
Yeah.
They go to the cemetery. A lot of people back home are having picnics in the cemetery this weekend.
Yeah.
Family reunions. Sound a little morbid, but hey, if you believe in the spirits, why not have the picnic where they are so they don't have to come to you for it?
That is true. Anything going on you want to talk about?
Gangster gophers and carnivorous horses.
Always the gangster gophers. That is something, everybody please go check out Uncle Sal up at the Shanley. They are doing a lot of benefit stuff up there. Have a lot of special things coming up. Please go check them out.
Aaron Houdini right now is auctioning off quite a few of his personal effects items, and half of every auction purchase will be going to the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
And for those of you that may or may not know, Aaron was diagnosed with Parkinson's just a month and a half or 2 months ago. So the Michael J. Fox Foundation takes on a whole new meaning for him. And for us too. He's a dear friend and has a little son, Amadeus, that I'm sure he wants to be able to spend time with. And
he's just too cute.
Yeah, he is.
Although he does wake up in the middle of the night now talking to the creepy skull head. But hey, that is his thing.
That's all okay.